Hey guys, we are going to do the little simple one-story home here for you. Also learn some basics about Revit. I'm a set inventor. I'm going to do that a lot. Deal with it. My little dyslexia kicking in here. Okay, so I'm starting off here on a different drawing, but that won't matter for you guys. We're going to start off with getting the proper start menu. So you're going to click on the big R up here, which is also known as the application button, if you want to know the correct term. I don't care if you want to know or not. Press New. New. All right. Hit Browse, because you need to do the residential default setting. Press Open. Okay. I might do a general walkthrough here real quick, just to remind you of a few things, but not a whole lot. The main thing is, please don't close these two things out. It's annoying trying to get them back. I'll show you how to get them back if you do. If you close these out, let's say I close this one out by accidental, you just right-click and click Properties. If you close this one out, you hit View, you go to User Interface and Browser. Might be a good thing just to do, just in case you do actually close it down. So if you want to take a moment to try that, go ahead. That may save me a little bit of gray hair. So you just click these things and you'll get these things back up again, okay? All right, we're just going to jump on into this thing. So I don't know the measurements for this house. You have it in front of you, hopefully. So we're going to do some guessing on this one, and we're just going to make it work. So, but first thing I'm going to do is click Wall, okay? So this is a one-story house, so I need to set the connected to second floor, and also I'm going to work with finished face exterior. Now, you're going to hear this word a lot. Ish is a lot of Revit at start, because you're going to kind of put stuff in and then change it later. You can do a lot of guesstimation, okay? So that may drive you nuts, but that's how it is. So I'm going to click an exterior wall. Let's just do a simple wood siding on wood stud, okay? So just so you know, just be technical what this is. If you click on the Edit Type button, you'll get this little menu that just pops right up that looks like this. If I click Preview, it'll give me a little bit of a wall sample, okay? Not done yet. If I click the Edit button, you'll see how it shows me what's inside your wall. So we have gypsum board, which is drywall. You have a 2x6, which is 5.5 inches. You have a piece of sheathing, which is also known as plywood. And then you have a siding. So that's what's on this wall. Okay? I'm just going to press cancel now. All right. So when you draw in this program, it's really important to know which is the inside and outside of the wall. The part that the 5 is on, that side of it, is the outside of the wall. If you're wondering what side the wall is, you can just draw it out and click and right-click, and if you click on it, the arrow is the outside of the wall. If you really want to see what it is, you can go to 3D, which is a little house up here, and you'll see there's my siding. Okay, so I'm going to click back on first floor plan. I'm going to erase this. I know that was annoying, but I just want to show you that. Okay, let's draw it out. I'm looking at this building. It looks like the living room and the bedroom are going to be about 24 feet. So I know that I need to go this direction on this because I want the outside of the wall to be there. If you mess it up, it's not a big deal. I'm just going to eyeball it here about 25 just so I know I have enough space. Like I said, I'm just guesstimating. I'm going to go up. I'm not typing in measurements. I'm just looking at the side. I'm going to go about 20 feet this way. Just going to guess it. Then I know this little bathtub area, this little master bath. So I'm just kind of draw this thing out. So I'm going to go about 10 feet here. Now these things will try to line up, which is great. I'm just going to click here. And I'm just going to draw what looks like the shape of the house. The bedroom says 11 by 12. So okay, about 10 feet. Could go over, and as we're going over, there's a bedroom, there's a closet, and another bedroom. Yeah, about 20 feet, maybe. About 24. Actually, these line up. So that'll just do that. Okay. I'm going to go down here. There's a bay window in the bedroom 3, which I'm going to put in. I'm going to bring this down about 18.6-ish. Draw my little bay window thing right here. You know, just like that. Not a big deal. There we go. Okay, the outside is pretty much done. We got a garage here too, which once again, just like I did on the floor plan, I'm going to worry about that last because there's some wall features that you're going to have to eventually change. Okay. But let's do some dimensioning first so I know where I'm at. So up at the top of your screen here, there's an Align Dimension category. You also can get there by clicking the Annotate tab. And it's right there too. First thing you gotta do, change this to wall faces. So do that first. When you dimension a house, you have to go outside to outside to outside to outside, and then you dock it. I left clicked every time. Okay. So these are my measurements. I'm not doing anything with these. I just want to see them. Always good to add measurements. I'm going to add them here too. So add dimensions. The number one question I'm going to ask you if you come to me with a problem is, what are the measurements? And if you don't see it, you're going to have to put them on there. So make sure you have measurements on here so we know how big things are. So take a moment and do that. Also, it's great that they line up. That's just best practice. So about that works, but like I said, these are going to change. So my outside wall is pretty much drawn up. I know, easy, right? Okay, it gets even easier. So let's do some interior walls. Now, of course, you don't want to use siding inside your house. That's silly. So I have to go down here and change this to 4.5 partition. Now, what that is that is a 2x4 with 2 pieces of drywall. The 2x4 is actually 1.5 by 3.5, which is 3.5 inches. The 1/2 inch on both sides is your drywall. Makes sense. Change this unconnected to second floor because it needs to go up to the ceiling. This doesn't really matter right now because I'm just going to dump in walls. If you want to do finished face exterior, go ahead. Now you see when you first draw, it'll give you what's called a temporary measurement. It's just a guideline. It's not exact. And you're not going to care because we're going to have to fix this anyway later on. So let's just first draw in this upper bedroom and we'll start there. So I'm just going to draw this down about 9 feet. I'm just going to put over here. Okay. Now I'm going to teach you how to change a measurement on this program. So next thing I need to do is I need to do some interior dimensions. So once again, face to face, like this, okay? Once you have this in order to change a measurement, you have to click on a wall. Now, you want to click on something that you can change. I don't want to change this outside just yet, unless I have to, okay? So if I click on a wall, it makes the number bigger, which means it's activated. You cannot just click on this. If you click on this, nothing happens. Don't do it. Click on the wall. It says on my sheet this is 12 by 9, so I'm just going to make this 12 inches, 12 feet. All you have to do is type in 12, you press enter, it defaults in feet. Same thing here. Take that, click that, change this to 9 feet. Pretty easy. Now, being the smart guy that I am, and students like you are, I see this wall goes all the way down. So I'm just going to drag this guy down like this. I don't care how far, just bring him down and we'll trim him up later. Okay? If I go fast, pause, I'm just kind of rolling through this thing. Okay, let's put in another wall. And I'm going to do it about 3 feet off from here, but then I'll change the measurement here in just a second. So this width, I like lining up my dimensions. I prefer you do that too. 2 feet. Always dimension. Dimension, 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 dimension. Did I mention you need to dimension? Wall. I'll put another wall right here. Now I'm seeing here I'm going to run out of room, so I'm just going to drag this guy down a little bit more. Okay. This one needs to be, my sheet says 10 feet, so I'm going to go 10 feet. Now, this window is too big for me. I don't like this. So I'm going to go up here. I'm going to click this. It's going to activate this 4. I'm going to change this to 3. That looks a little better. If you want to go a width out, a width outside of it, 3 feet works good by me. So, okay. The last thing on this is we have a hall closet here. Once again, 2'6", whatever out. And then guess what you have to do, folks? That's right. Dimension. Now I made a mistake here, I see. Like lining these things up. This guy, I'm going to move here. So these all line up nice and neat. Us people with OCD here love that. Okay. Moving back up the sheet, I'm looking at the closet. There is a closet here, like dish. And there's a little closet right there. This, I'm not going to worry about the measurement because it should be centered. And this one should be about 2 feet in. There we go. So we got this little corner right here. How do we fix this? I could drag it up, which works fine too, but I don't want to do that. I want to teach you the actual proper way. If you click a line, it automatically activates the modify stuff. You also can reach that, but just click and modify itself. But if you click the modify button, there's a thing here called trim and extend corner. This is probably one of the more common modify tabs that that you will use. So if you click this trim and extend, you click one wall, you click the other wall. You click what you want to keep, not what you want to get rid of. Okay, that side of the house is done. This is getting real easy. All right, now I want to make sure this is long enough. Like I said, we guessed this, so we're just going to have to wait and see. So this says 11.9. It says on my sheet 14 feet. So I'm going to click this, type 14. Now the outside of my house is pretty much done. Okay. Down here, I'm going to go inside to inside to see how much room I got. It says 23. My sheet says 24. It's okay, but I want to make it exact. So let's go 24 here. Okay. The reason why I had you guys make this on paper first was I wanted you to get a feel for the house and it's how it's laid out. So if you're wondering why I'm doing what I'm doing, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Okay. This is where things get a little bit funny. We have to put a wall right here because it extends out from this little bathroom right here. And you'll see here real quick how when you put in a wall that's a 4.5, things may not always line up. This time it did, luckily. If it does not line up, let's say you put it in here, and you say you're like this. Here's how you fix that. There's an align button. This is also a really popular tool. But it likes doing center line first. So you have to click faces and press the enter button first. And I know it won't work first. But if you press escape and if you do it again, the align button will work. It's kind of funny that way. You can lock things in when you want to, but I'm not a huge fan of locking stuff. So now a dimension from here to here. This should be roughly 18 feet tall. Oh, look, it moved that down. Okay. So I didn't lock it in, so now I have to go and do the align tool. Click what you want to keep, and then what you want to move next. So now we have that set in. Okay, there's only 2 minutes left in this video, so I'm just going to try to get this top done, and I'll worry about the bathroom next. Okay. So, working from the master bedroom now. So I need to get this closet in. I'm going to click the wall button. And there needs to be a hall closet here that's about 3 feet wide. So I'm going to eyeball it first, and then just bring it down like this. To where these two will almost line up. Then I'm going to put a dimension here that is going to be 3 feet wide. It might look thin, but that's how it is. Okay, so just leave it. Then from here to here, this is 11 by 12. It looks like it's a tad short, but I'm actually going to keep it that way because otherwise it's going to mess everything else up. If you want to move this, you're welcome to, but if you move this, you have to adjust this. Let's say I want to do that. This might be a good tool to learn. So if you click Modify and you click Align, if I click these two, I'm going to line them up. I'm going to lock that in there. That way these two will move at the same time. Now if I click this and I make this 12 feet, that'll bump that over too. So I think that's always cool. Okay, so I'm going to pause here. This will be part 1. I'm going to start part 2 in a minute, but until then, we're just going to let this one go and make sure that your house looks close to this right now. Okay? Hope you had fun. We'll see you in the next video. I won't see you. You'll probably hear me, but you know what I mean.